Spotlight.
There are white-collar workers, there are blue-collar workers. There are entrepreneurs, there are politicians, there are actors. No matter what we do, we struggle in our day-to-day job. But today's guest I have here is someone who has done more than one hat all at the same time. Hello, this is Spotlight and I'm your host, Karthik Balabal. Today I have Mr. Rajendra Kumar Misra, also popularly known as RK or Misra ji. Misra ji, welcome to our show. So sir, you transformed from an engineer to an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Could you walk us through the journey, please?
So, I think a journey from an engineer to entrepreneurship is, to many of us, is natural. As you see, a lot of entrepreneurs today come from IITs. But when I graduated, it wasn't very obvious. First of all, India wasn't a country ready for entrepreneurs. So most of the people went abroad. A lot of my friends, my batchmates, I think around 200 plus out of a batch of 250 went abroad. Majority of them ended up going to US, which was the norm. I was the only odd one out. In fact, the only one who went to Japan. And there was a reason behind it because I was very intrigued by what was happening in Japan. That time, 89 was Japan almost at its peak, buying Columbia Pictures in the US and, Rockefeller Tower. It looked like Japan was taking over the world. 9 out of 10 banks were Japanese. And it was very intriguing because in popular imagination, Japan had been completely destroyed, including 2 atomic bombs in the World War. India got independence almost the same time. I always used to kind of compare, look where we are and look where Japan is. What is so unique about Japan? So that desire to go and explore and not, follow the known path of going to US and finishing your masters and taking up a job there. So I think that entrepreneurship trait of doing something different, exploring, doing on your own was there. Of course, I didn't know why, but it was a bold decision because everybody was kind of surprised how I took a decision of going to Japan.
Right.
I didn't know the language. I didn't know anybody in Japan. It was almost like, old days people used to say going over the ocean was almost like you don't know whether to come back. But having gone there, I went to Tokyo University, did my master's, worked for a few years. And the key thing I learned was the work culture, the work ethic. Of course, Japan was not very big on entrepreneurship because everybody worked for life in big corporations.
I think there's a similarity there between Indian society and Japanese society.
Actually, those days, you're right, because getting a job in a big company was the dream for any family.
Right.
And going to the university like Tokyo University is also a dream because, like here, people want and try to go to IITs and this kind of IIMs. Japan also is a very academic-oriented society, but then entrepreneurship was not obvious. But surprisingly, I think the shoots of entrepreneurship were visible in Japan. The SoftBank head, Mr. Masayoshi Son, that time had challenged the Japanese telecom monopoly by the government by starting a private telecom company. It was very interesting for me to learn how he did that. But then somehow, after completing my master's, I worked for 2 years in Japan. But then I was clear that I'm not going to work for life in a big company.
How soon did you arrive to that conclusion?
I think when I worked for 2 years, I realized,
this is it for me.
Yeah, and Japanese work culture in a Japanese company is a very straitjacket. I'm sure anybody who has worked with Japanese and Japanese company will tell you, it's a lot of stress. Freedom to do what you feel like is not there much. Now they're changing, but not those days. Which is like claustrophobic because I said it's great work, lot of money, because there are plenty of opportunities of growth also if you just follow the path and be there for 30 years.
Right.
But I couldn't imagine working in a big company and being there for 30 years.
Yeah, especially for a free-spirited person.
Free-spirited, and I wasn't even Japanese. Imagine, there were like hardly, in a company where I used to work was like Japan's largest construction conglomerate called Kajima. And they hardly had, out of 50,000 or 80,000 people, there were 5 foreigners. So of course that was one, but you're right. I was a misfit to that straight jacket corporate culture. And at that time I decided, of course I needed to make some money of my own. So I worked there for 4 years, but then I have never worked after that. And I decided to be on my own. My first venture was in Japan, and then I moved back to India. I came back to India when it was almost unheard of.
Right.
I came back in 95.
Right. Yeah, typically when people go abroad, there's a lot of peer pressure or family pressure. You got a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Why are you coming back here again? What are you going to do? Like, are you squandering everything that you've worked so hard for so far? Did you get that kind of pushback from your family or friends?
Not from my family. My parents, especially my mother, was like extremely happy that I'm coming back. They were like thrilled. But all my friends, because I somehow always believed in India's story. So when 1991, the economic reforms started, I always used to tell my Japanese friends, please invest in India. And that time Japan was very, very gung-ho on China. And I always had a feeling that China can't be good for Japan because two societies don't like each other.
Right.
Chinese, because of the Japanese occupation, hated Japanese people. So I always used to tell my friend, why are you going to go? But he said, Mr. San in Japan,
Right.
Indians are great. You people are very smart, but as a nation, as a society, it's very difficult to do business in India, starting from infrastructure to red tape to corruption to everything. And that was very painful. It hurts when somebody, you may go out of India, but India does not go out of you.
Right.
So when somebody says, and especially when they compare that with China, look, China, everything is open and, doing business is so easy, government is so proactive, and in India it is so difficult. So when 1991, reform started, Mr. Manmohan Singh, got elected, I always used to tell, now you look at India. And they said, no, we have seen it. When Rajiv Gandhi came, that time also it was the same thing. It just starts.
Right.
And my friends also were saying, RK, you're crazy. Thinking of going back to India and doing something, and you're doing so well here. And by then I started my own venture in Japan. And that was really, I think, leap of faith. And I somehow believe that going back to India and doing it in India was the right thing. Our family was very welcoming. In fact, surprisingly, I was about to get married when I came about to come back to India. And usually, as you would know, that people expect the person to be abroad as a good thing.
Right.
And I told my in-laws and to my wife that, please, I'm coming back. And they were thrilled. They said, that's fantastic, you're coming back, it's great. So I think, as you asked from the family side, absolutely, they were delighted that I was coming back. Of course, there were apprehensions that, being on your own, being a startup, starting your own business in the country, because nobody in my family is in business.
Right.
So it was a complicated. So there was little apprehension, but nobody was worried about that. But my friends, and I would say my well-wishers, who didn't have a very high opinion of India at that time, both in US and Japan and in India, they said you are making a mistake. But I think I was convinced, and I think I made the right choice.
So when you founded Tenet Technologies, was it in 1995?
Yes.
Right. I think the entrepreneurial ecosystem itself is like very, very tiny. Be it Japan or even in India, it's not even existent. How did you go about fundraising, or did you even think about something like that?
That's very interesting, because this is something I think today's entrepreneurs need to learn. When we came to India, and when I started my first company, we did not start with an idea hoping that the moment I am able to showcase my idea to a working model, I'll be raising a quick VC money. The concept of VC money did not exist. So idea was that you have to do a business, and business has to run on its own merit.
Right.
And that's what I did. From 95 to 90, I sold my business in 2003. So 95 to 99, it was all revenues from our own business,
Got it.
which sustained us,
Mhm.
and the savings which made us grow. Of course, then when we reach a stage, we were almost the only technology product kind of development. So a very well-known company. We were also considered a high-tech company, where most of the other companies were doing usually the outsourcing work, either getting work outsourced or outsourcing people from here abroad. I mean, there was a common term used those days was body shopping, correct? Not used that often, but those days that was a kind of India's image.
Right.
Or software development, send it to India because it's cheaper.
Right.
In that ecosystem, ours and maybe a couple of other companies were very few companies who were actually working on telecom. Was the cutting edge then, because those days in 95 I was designing 3G switches for the top telecom operators of the world, like in Japan and Finland, like Nokia and NEC were my partners in that time. So I think we were doing cutting edge at that time, which was very unique, and that's why we were very hot commodity as a company. So a lot of people were interested, but we didn't take money for 4 years. We ran on. Then we took the money from the best folks who were available here. Only 3 VCs were there, which were only institutional. There was ICICI, there was Citibank, and we raised money from Citibank.
Got it. And then how did tenant retail happen?
Interesting, because Tenet was essentially a kind of generic name which I had in my mind. Tenet means values,
Right.
Things like that. And I am a kind of person who gets bored when things become simple. When it's on autopilot, it's no more exciting to me.
Right.
So
I think you're answering my next question even before I asked.
all right. So I think this is what it is. So not only Tenet retail,
Right.
Travel Genie happened.
Travel. Right.
Now, the story is very simple. I think entrepreneurship is about identifying a problem which is big enough to be solved and solving it. And in the case of Tenet Retail, before that I'll talk about Tenet Travel Genie, and it's very interesting.
Right.
So I used to travel quite a bit. When I was working in Tenet, I almost was 2 weeks of the month on the flight. But my partners and customers are across the world.
Right.
So I used to take round the world flight. There used to be United 1 and United 2. So you will go from here to Europe, Europe to US, US to Japan, Hong Kong and back, and other way around. And every time I book a ticket through my agent, I had to make any change. It was like nightmare.
Right.
But in US, I used to sit on the computer and try to do whatever changes I could do it. And then I was lying down one day, relaxing at my mother-in-law's place in Mountain View. And I was wondering, why are we not able to do this in India? Why can't we do online bookings in India? Why can't we do these changes there in India? And that idea, I just couldn't sleep one night. On the way back, 14-hour flight, sat in the flight, made the business plan, came here, had 30 odd engineers, put my money aside, and started Travel Genie. And surprisingly,
So all it took you is one trip to the US and back.
well, I mean, of course, I had many trips, but this idea, because I knew this challenge and I was facing it every day, so I knew the problem is there. If I am facing, everybody else will be facing. So I knew there is a demand for it. Of course, I was too early.
Right.
In '99, we didn't even have the internet, correct? Functioning internet at an individual level, but the need was there. So we created Travel Genie, and within a year and a half, it was sold to ICC Ventures. So I could identify the opportunity. So especially in Tenet Retail also, it was essentially for the organic food.
Right.
And somebody who was, actually this company which is called 24 Little Mantra. It is India's largest organic food company. I was the first investor in that company.
Got it.
And he's an IMA graduate, Hyderabad-based company, and he reached out to me and he said, "Okay, I'm planning to retail the organic food, growing I understand, but retailing is very difficult. Will you help me?
Right.
Especially in the markets like, so I said, okay, fine. And that's how retail came about.
Got it.
So I think I look at opportunity, I see that there is a need and demand for it, and I go for it. I don't worry about whether it is hot, whether it is going to get VC funding, or whether I'll become billionaire. No, I think that's not the right approach in my view. You should look at the opportunity, you look at the problem. If there is a problem, good enough and big enough problem to solve, you will get a good business model.
So in many ways, some of these ideas are actually way ahead of their time.
Yes.
Right? Was that something that you had in your mind when you started Travel Genie or even Internet Retail? Is India ready for organic food, or is India ready for?
Yes, I think so. Again, I used to travel in the markets which were much more developed, much more advanced in terms of the acceptability of those solutions. So, for example, online booking was a given thing in US.
Right.
India, the need was there, but the infrastructure did not exist.
Correct.
So the problem was not, so I got the need part correct. That was figured out. By the Travel Genie is one of the most well-known brands at that time. When people who are old enough, they'll tell you that it was one of the place, and that's why it got sold quickly. But I think yes, you're right. Infrastructure did not, and my expectation of Indian infrastructure coming up and matching up with my business plan have fallen short of my expectations. So if Indian telecom and internet infrastructure had come up at the speed at which it was promised, maybe it would have been better. But it's all in the hindsight. So, but I think I really felt happy with what I created. Whether it was ahead of time, I mean, that's fine.
So was it disappointing that the infrastructure in India is not keeping up with the pace of innovation in India?
Yes. I had no desire of selling Travel Genie.
Right.
Absolutely no desire, because I really liked the idea. And I could have taken the money and continued to run it. But I realized that it was a money guzzler. I mean, you could keep pumping money, and the returns were not to the extent, for very simple reason, because infrastructure was not there. And I think there's a little bit of disappointment, because India always, surprisingly, even today, under-delivers on its promise. India always is a country of future. I hope, and I think things are changing now, I mean, startup ecosystem. But even today, for example, unless we see some mega exits, some success stories which inspire, which make money for the entrepreneur, which make money for the investors, and become like Alibabas of the world, or Amazons of the world, or Googles of the world, India's startup ecosystem will continue to struggle, and then you will have these kind of drought periods like what happened in 2016.
Right.
I mean, 2014, 2015, everybody was like, there's no tomorrow, investing like crazy, starting from Tiger Global to everybody else.
Right.
Valuation goes from 1 billion to 10 billion, and suddenly nobody is interested in. So it was, I mean, it looks like it's a lot of speculation, which is not good for the economy and not good for the ecosystem.
And the funding completely dries up in.
Absolutely. And then what happens in the process, the kids who really thought that they have a great idea, and they had a great idea, and they just die out because there's no funding for them, for no fault of theirs. Because the biggies who sucked up the market didn't deliver on the promise, because of which whole ecosystem suffers. But now I think it's a little bit more distributed. You are coming up with these small niche funds, accelerators, incubators. There's a more industry entrepreneur interaction. But I believe the startup ecosystem is still very fragile.
So is it fair to say that you pretty much retired from the corporate world very soon, very early?
Yes. So this sounds very interesting. So actually, officially, I retired the day I turned 40. Exactly the date I turned 40.
Was it planned, or was it?
Yes, it was planned, and I think I'm not sure whether a lot of thought had gone into it, but when I was like 33, 34, maybe 35, I kind of had this feeling that I must retire at 40, and I'll tell you why 40 was the thing. But I was also very, clear in my mind that if I don't put enough pressure on me, I will not. Because business is a treadmill, right? Getting on is easy, getting off is very difficult. And you're running at 20 kilometers speed, so you cannot get off it. So I started telling everybody whom I knew, because I'm retiring at 40. So that if I don't retire, these guys say, what the hell are you doing? You said you retire at 40 and you're not retiring. So just trying to put pressure on myself. But there was a little bit thinking behind that, because I knew I'm doing reasonably well. Of course, I never expected to make billions, and I never made billions. But I knew that I'll be reasonably comfortable if I don't do anything stupid. I will be financially, I can manage my affairs well. 40, I thought very carefully. Why 40? So if you go a little bit, our traditional Indian system of ashramas, correct? Brahmacharya, right? Correct? Grahasth, Vanprasth and Sannyas. I understood those as following. Brahmacharya is about to gain the knowledge. Right? You become yourself, which for us is like going to college and finishing your education, which you do by 20, so today, 22 or there was. That remaining 20 years, and I believe that I'm not going to live, or usually people live for 80 years. So divide equally into 4 parts, become 20. So 21st to 24, gaining knowledge and education so that you are able to do well in the world. Next 20 years, to do things for people around you, grasp for your family, or siblings, or parents, whatever responsibilities are. Next 20, which Vanprasth, my understanding is whatever you have learned and earned, this is the opportunity to share. Whatever you have learned and what you have earned, this age of 40 to 60, you please share with the others, so that others can benefit from your knowledge and your resources. And then, don't have very clear idea what sannyas means. To me, sannyas means to impart the wisdom and knowledge that you have acquired over 60 years. Not necessarily going to Himalayas and doing nothing. That's not my way of sannyas. So 40 was a very crucial this thing, and I think I was doing reasonably well. I had sold my company. Of course, I was supposed to be there in that company for 3 years, so-called golden handcuffs. But 40 happened to be only 2 years. So they told me, oh, if you leave 1 year early, you'll not get this, you'll not get that. I said, I'm fine. As luck would have it, I also got that.
That in itself is very inspiring.
Yes, because, I said if I'm not true to myself,
Right.
For, small amount of money on the table, if I'm going to not keep my own promise, then what's the difference between 41 to 45? I can continue with 45. I was at prime of my capabilities. I was earning a lot. I was doing all well. Then I think I wasn't being true to myself if I didn't do that. So I think it was self-imposed, deadline. And I didn't have a great plan of what will I do after 40. I don't think anybody has it. But that's a different story. Because a lot of people want to retire. Many of my friends want to retire. Some of them even decide, even not 40, even at 50. And then they go back.
Right.
Because it's not easy to retire. And that I'll tell you why it is not easy to retire. Because when you're working, you think, oh, if I retire, I'm going to go to Bahamas and be on the beach all the time, or somebody else, I'll play golf 3 times a day. It's not easy. Because retiring doesn't mean that you're not busy. But keeping yourself busy is not easy. That's something very important. And busy with meaningful things.
Right kind of activities.
The activities which excite you.
Yeah.
Activities which give you satisfaction. Because at the end of the day, when you're working, satisfaction comes from money you make, the people who you work with, that stimuli is there. But when you are not making money, when you're not satisfying a customer or an employee, then what will give you satisfaction?
Right.
As a human being, you need to be feeling important. You need to be feeling significant. You need to be feeling doing something meaningful. But if that is not there, you're going to be depressed. And that's why a lot of people who have taken time off from their main profession, vocation, either end up becoming depressed or they go back to which is a disaster. Because
Either way.
you go back, I don't think that's the same thing. So that's I'll talk next.
So is that the seed behind founding Sahyog?
Yes, very clearly. So I at least knew that what I'm going to do from here onwards to be in public policy. I believe, and then again you can think about Genesis. When I was in Japan, I used to hear that India is not very easy to do business with. So I realized that it is not about the people,
Right.
it is the process. Of course, people are important, but despite surprisingly, when I came back to India in '95. I remember Manmohan Singh lost in '96, and all my friends and well-wishers, see, I told you, India is not going to change. The man was trying to do reform.
Right.
Look, he has been defeated. You made a blunder, you've gone to India, nothing will happen to India. Of course.
That was only.
So I was very clear. No, I'm back for good. I had no strings attached anywhere, so I'm back. But then I realized that yes, and working in the IT industry, I was very closely working with the government of Karnataka. When we were promoting IT industry to the world from Karnataka, I used to go along with the chief minister's delegation, things like that. So I realized the power of the right policies. Karnataka was the first state which came up with the IT policies, which was then adopted by the central government, correct?
Yeah.
And that's why Karnataka continues to lead into IT, technology, innovation, startup, VC. So I believe that public policy plays a very big role. If the government did not bring those policies, I think Karnataka and India will not be in position today where we are. So I had decided that I am going to be in public policy. But the question is, you're not a politician. You are not a bureaucrat.
Right.
You can't become an IAS at 40. So you cannot simply go and tell, okay, I want to be helping you. Nobody wants help actually. Surprising part is, you may think you want to help. Try to go and talk to a bureaucrat, I want to help. They say, really? What's your interest? So nobody is willing to take your help. So how to make yourself helpful is a challenge.
That itself is a challenge.
It's a challenge. So of course, Sahyog was, so you see the name is Indian Council for Public-Private Partnership.
Right.
So I created this concept that okay, public and private have to come together, create a partnership, and out of which the policies will come out, which will be beneficial for the society and for the country and for the state.
In 2007, you were nominated for the Lead India Initiative for your active social work. I know it was never for awards, but how important was it in motivating you to do more for the society? Should even entrepreneurs, look for validation in whatever that they're doing, or should they keep going no matter what?
I think every human being. So when you have a mice running on that wheel,
Right.
if you do not feed him, he will stop. We as human beings always want some reward. Correct? Reward can come in many different ways.
Right.
Reward can simply come by somebody saying great job, your manager saying great job, your dad saying my son has done good for the family, you making tons of money as an entrepreneur. But some reward is needed. Now, I believe that Lead India, which of course was larger than life, it was across the country, every city you go.
Right.
At the airport, I used to be mobbed for autographs and things like that. I was on TV, I was on newspapers. So it was a very big validation. And actually that gave me confidence that what I thought. Because I did something which was very unique. I don't know how many people retire at 40.
Right.
Even after they retire at 40, how many people take up this public role, public policy and social work. And getting that validated at a platform like Lead India, which is national and which is almost, in your face kind of thing, was a very big validation and gave you a lot of confidence, gave a lot of boost, and a lot of recognition came with it, which also helped me going further.
Right.
What I did after that.
So, was the social work that you've done leading into your political career? Was that? Did you think of that as a platform to launch yourself into a political career? It's very interesting. Why did you make that someone who has been successful to get into politics, and not a lot of people are willing to take that risk and go in that route?
It's a very interesting question. You use the word political career, correct? I don't know if you thought about it. But that's the misnomer with the politics of this country. Politics should never be a career. People who have already had a good career, a successful career, should enter the politics. If you think politics as a career, you are a normal politician. Because normal politician has no other career. Because most of the time he is uneducated. He has been the rowdy who did nothing else. There are 5 brothers. The lousiest of 5 who did nothing was one of the worst in the family, becomes a politician. And then politics becomes a career. Politics should never become a career. Politics should be a vocation. Politics should be profession or a calling. So for me, politics was not a career. For me, politics was a way to give back. And I'll tell you the genesis of it.
Right.
So when I was working as a social work, or I was working with various government agencies and various, governments, I'm an advisor to several state governments and central government, I could make an impact. But impact was at a smaller scale. And you realize in a democracy, the highest decision-making body is legislature. What legislature decides gets executed through executive. And then, of course, is judged by the judiciary and then the media.
Right.
Now, having got this recognition through Lead India, your face is well known. Now, of course, every party approached me.
Right.
I won't name them, but let me tell you, all the top guys. In fact, what I've been told that Lead India never happened again. There was one and only one time.
Yeah.
And of course, I've not heard directly from Times of India, but I've been told that they were told, why are you creating a parallel structure of leadership?
Right.
So I don't know whether it's true or false, but then public could identify with that kind of leadership. And of course, politicians are very quick to judge, okay, here is an opportunity to get this guy into politics and all. But I did not enter politics because what they wanted. I entered the politics because what I wanted. I believe that as an elected representative and having this kind of background and experience, doesn't matter which party I go to, I will be able to make a difference. Maybe as a member of parliament or maybe as a minister or whatever it is. And I joined a party. Having joined the party, you realize that politics is a career. And I was an outsider. It's almost like in a structured company where everybody has a lifetime employment.
Yeah.
Suddenly somebody is brought at a director level who is not a lifetime.
Right.
Then everybody below him, what's wrong with this guy? I mean, how can he come?
Yeah.
I mean, I have spent my life. It's a different matter, they had nothing else to do.
Right. Right.
Most of the people in the politics had no other option. Some of them are there because they want to further their businesses and things like that. But majority of them are career politicians. I was a professional who entered politics. So it was not very easy for everybody. Now, I'm not saying that they were, unfair to me or things, but I realized if I had to be in politics, I got to do what exactly politicians are supposed to do. Because at the end of the day, if I'm a politician, I need to go and win votes. And unfortunately, whether it is urban or rural, voting today still does not happen on your intellectual abilities, on your social work. It happens on the parameters which are not really professional or clean. And that was, I think, a revelation. Because that sometimes, look how Arun Jaitley lost election.
Right.
Manmohan Singh could never win election. So being professional, being knowledgeable, doing good or trying to do good is neither necessary nor sufficient condition to be successful in electoral politics.
Yeah.
However, if you do good work, you get recognized, then there are places like Rajya Sabha,
Right.
where you go there and look at Modi's government, at least 8 or 10 ministers are from Rajya Sabha, which are nominated. So there is a way, but electoral politics is a different ball game, and that I realized by physically myself standing for elections, and that also in a very, very complicated constituency in Uttar Pradesh, a rural constituency where we have 4,000 villages, 4,000 square kilometers. But today, nobody can tell me, oh, RK, what do you know about politics? I've been there, done that, and we fought a very good election. So I think it is very important, but that experience cannot go away from me. But I realized after that electoral politics is not the right forum and approach for somebody like me.
So, are you seen as a change agent and somebody who is going to disrupt the status quo when you were part of the party?
Many things. First of all, who are you? You were taken from the top. Everybody has come from the bottom. There are ideologies in each party.
But are there ideologies in these parties?
Well, for example, BJP has RSS ideology.
Right.
Correct? Congress has Nehruvian ideology, supposedly. Now, if somebody wants to say that, oh, you are in BJP, but you don't come from RSS cadre. Whether it matters or not, but there's always people can say that, correct? Oh, how long you've been there? You are all CEO types, and they will never say that. But you are not an insider. And politics, like any other politics, I mean, politics is politics, but even in corporate, equally capable people. Usually the guy who has a godfather, who has somebody gets pulled up.
Right.
Doesn't matter others are not good, because only 5 people have to go to the top and there are 50 good people. The 5 people who have somebody to watch their back succeed. Now when you have nobody there in the system to watch your back because you're an outsider, it's not really easy. And which is, I don't blame them. I mean, every organization, every system, because there is a comfort in the knowledge that you are one of them. And you have been there for 30 years together, 20 years together.
So you're a known quantity.
You are a known quantity, whether you are a liability, whether you are an asset, doesn't matter, but you are known. When somebody comes from outside, and then somebody like me who is so vocal, I mean, I was criticizing the BJP government while it's still in BJP in Karnataka. BJP government was in Karnataka because, I mean, not that it is unexpected, correct? So this is something which I believe everybody who's I mean, look at Nandan Nilekani, correct? Can anybody doubt that what he has done has impacted India in a way which is unimaginable?
Right.
With this UID and other thing. And I can also tell you, because I was very closely associated, at least 7 of my friends left their jobs. 6 of them were my neighbors. Their companies worked with Nandan. So I knew exactly what was going on. If it was not because of Nandan, and despite what he faced within the Congress those days, where, Mr. Chidambaram was running his own show trying to put down Aadhaar.
Right.
Despite that, he succeeded, and hats off to Mr. Modi that he did not kill Aadhaar. I mean, that man is a god for this country. Now, that man was defeated. He did not lose the election. I know what exactly went on there. He was defeated for a very simple reason. He's an outsider. And if he comes, the other chief ministerial aspirants of Karnataka will have no future.
Right.
So, politics, I mean, people say there's a politics in the company, there's a politics in the organ, but politics is a game of politics. So, I have nothing's right or wrong about it, but that's about it. You are an outsider, it's not very easy.
So how do we bring about change? I mean, is it from the outside or from within these parties? How can we affect this change?
So, I'm still struggling with it.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody has an answer.
We've seen experiments like Lok Satta Party. And
Yes,
they also
I think those are, I also believe those kind of experiments. I also started Navbharat.
Navbharat.
Correct?
Yeah.
It won't work. Because politics is a very expensive profession. In this country, politics is a very expensive profession. Look what happened to Mr. Kejriwal and company. Everything what we thought those guys stood against seems to be what they're doing today. Whether it is true or it's a media hype, I don't know. But they stood against corruption. They seem to, the whole party is, mired into corruption. There's so many allegations and things like that. And he's always there criticizing things, instead of doing things. So I think politics is I would believe that these parties need to be reformed from within. And India is not a Finland. India is not a Netherlands. India is a country of states, so many different, look, whole of South India, there's no BJP government, correct? So BJP, which has such a massive mandate at the national level, is totally absent below Maharashtra. So I think India being so complex, it is not very easy for somebody. Of course, you can have a movement which, I mean, AAP had the potential to disturb the whole ecosystem, but could not for whatever reasons. I don't go into that. I don't know about it. But I believe these parties can be reformed from within. I mean, what Mr. Modi is, and I think to his advantage, he has got huge brute majority, which never happened in the last 30, 40 years into Lok Sabha. Despite that, he's not able to do everything because Raj Sabha is not in his control.
Right.
But I believe these parties will get reformed, and there's no magic formula. It's not about good people or not there. Every party has good people. When the system allows you to remain good, if electoral reform happens, and MPs do not have to bribe the voters to win the elections, MPs will remain clean. And if they have a boss like Modi who sees to it that ministers are not corrupt, there will be no corruption. So system can be reformed from within by systemic changes. With this GST, with this Aadhaar, with this accountability, which our Prime Minister is seeking from the ministers and from the bureaucrats. I think things are changing, and believe me, I'm no longer in BJP. I criticize the government when I see something which I don't like. But let me tell you one thing. I have spoken to so many of my friends, and many of my friends are big businessmen. They are saying that corruption in Delhi, corridors of power, has almost vanished. Which is a very big statement. And I'm not saying this to please anybody. You can talk to people whom you know. This is something which was unthinkable in this country. And with what they're trying to do with this voting reforms and electoral reforms, where they are going to do the funding of the party, if something of that comes about, I think politics will become clean. Then the political parties will have no hesitation in having people even from outside.
Right.
Then the winnability is not the muscle power. Winnability is not about the money power. Suppose your Aadhaar becomes your vote, correct? And suppose you are allowed to vote from your mobile phone and from your computer. Then a good guy who can prove to the people, not just by doing dharnas and rallies and murders, but by social media and through other means, he can show people, his followers, that he is doing good work. He'll win. You don't need to have today, if you want to fight election in Bangalore, MP election, you know how many people you need to work for you? 500 people.
500.
Minimum, physically 500 people. Because one MP of Bangalore represents around 30, 40 lakh people. Assuming there are 1.2 crore people,
Right.
there are 3 MPs, it's 40 lakh.
Yeah.
To cover those 40 lakh people, reaching out to them, door to door you have to go today, correct? Especially the people who are on social media usually don't vote, and people who vote are not on social media, or even on social media are not, they want MP to be in their house.
Right.
How are you going to do? You need minimum 500 people who you have to feed, take care of them on a daily basis for almost 5 years.
Right.
Because you can't hire people last minute. So politics is a very expensive proposition. That's why most of the MPs, you go there in the evening, they are not doing any work. They are either going into a wedding or into a birthday or attending funerals.
Right.
If they do, nobody expects them to do. If they don't do work, people are not unhappy. But if they don't go for a wedding, certainly not get the vote. So I think our politics is yet to evolve, but I think we are on the right path. I think reform by smaller parties. I think smaller parties have a role to play. Local parties have a role to play. That's how Now Bharat has evolved into at the municipal level. Because there are 3 levels of government. A city dweller is most affected by what is done by the municipality, by his corporator, not by the MP, not by the MLA. So if you can start creating parties like what's happening in Europe, there are smaller parties which control regions and cities. If you start doing that, in fact, AAP had restricted only to Delhi, didn't have the ambition of trying to change the country, I think they would have done a better job.
Right.
So now I'm no longer involved, but the new team which has come at Now Bharat, they are focused on municipal governance. They are looking at Bangalore to start with. I think those kind of experiments of political change are possible because municipal governance is not about legislative politics. Municipal governance is about implementing the civic amenities and those kind of things.
Yeah, your water supply, your drainage.
Those are the kind of things. It's not making the laws. and your constituency is not very big, it's manageable. This is something I think if anybody who has new idea wants to experiment with the politics, and suppose you control 20 big cities of the country, actually you control the economy of the country.
Right, absolutely.
So I think if anybody who has the idea of starting a new political paradigm, he should focus on cities. And India's cities are going to be important. Right? 100 smart cities and all this. So cities which never had focus for the last 60, 70 years are now getting into focus. So if anybody wants a new kind of politics, please focus on cities.
Got it. So we have a very serious discussion about the politics. Now I want to go into one of the fun side of our interview. We call it the rapid fire round.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you a few quick questions and request you to give back one single word.
I'm not very good at answering quick, but I'll try.
So what is the single most important quality that IIT has taught you?
Hard work.
Your idol?
Difficult. Not a single person, but in a different domain, different region.
One book you would recommend to the youth of India?
India after Mahatma Gandhi.
Your favorite quote?
Be the change you want to be. That comes from Mahatma Gandhi.
3 qualities every entrepreneur should have.
3 qualities every entrepreneur should have: perseverance, belief in your idea, and success is not how much money you make.
Excellent. Mishra ji, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you. Thank you.